So a couple weeks ago, somebody reached out to me and said, hey, you want a free tire machine? I'm like, heck yeah, I want a free tire machine. Who wouldn't want a free tire machine? So it's loaded up into the trailer, and it's in kind of disrepair. I think it's been used as a parts machine, but I think I can still make it work. So we're gonna go over it. Ginger's already checking it out, and we're gonna see if we can get it back up and going. So keep watching. So this is what we got. Let's take a look around it. Kind of inventory what we're missing, what we're not. A bunch of the lines look like they're ripped off. These are all just pneumatic / air lines for, I mean, you can just see them sticking out everywhere for your shovel to break the beads. I mean, this is actually only like a 10-year-old machine, maybe 12 years old, I think. And it has had a hard life, either sitting outside the whole time or not. I bought a bunch of different sized airlines. I bought 3 different sizes of airlines. There's actually like 5, possibly even 6 different sizes on this, which is baffling to me. They use a super overcomplicated arm system right here. It's supposed to be like leverless. So typically with like a tire, you put it on, you put the duckbill, you take like a bar, you know, that's a crowbar, and you pry it off. This one, you're supposed to be able to use these little like round shoehorn things to take it off. I'm missing a bunch of levers here, so we're just gonna kind of go through it. You know, lines are unplugged everywhere. You pop under here. Here's the electric motor that spins the table. You guys can't really see, but the table is moving, so the motor spins left or right, spins the table. But I got a bunch of lines disconnected under here, and there's that could be connected to there. I don't know. We don't know. Most of the other stuff's pretty connected. I think I need to just get the shop vac and kind of vacuum it out. There's literally gravel blocking everything. These pedals, this pedal right here, wouldn't even move all the way because there's gravel wedged up in there. Same with this one. Okay, that was a fun one. This hole right here is just for these tools. I pulled out, this was down there at the bottom, sticking up like this, so 4 inches. 4 inches deep of just valve stems. There was a rag down there, just broken off. You've got wheel weights, everything. So finally got it cleaned out. Took way longer than it should have. So I don't know if this is salvageable. Probably not. I don't think it's a good brand or anything. It says made in the USA, but this isn't really something, that doesn't mean a ton anymore. So I'm going to just put a little bit, there's a huge pressure tank under there, like a cylinder. That must be open. So these connect under here, and then they go out to a bunch of little teeny number 4 lines right here. And then you'd have your control right here where you moved it in and out. And I picked up a valve somewhere. I picked up this little valve right here with a little switch. These, I did get these to move right here a little bit. I'm missing some lines, but I'm able just to plug right into the bottom of one. There's 2 cylinders that kind of share. You can see it moving. Everything needs to be lubed up under there. It's all just rusty. This has been sitting outside forever. Here, plug off this hole. We get that. That's kind of cool. I found a clean spot under there, and I'm missing a distribution block that something that's probably not impossible to make, that controls everything. So I think that, I mean, this thing's been salvaged for parts to keep other ones going. It makes sense. A lot of the lines, they were ending right inside here, but there's disconnected lines right there. So I thought the distribution block was there, but I think there was just some elbows there that were taken out. But I noticed, you see this clean spot right here and 2 bolt holes, so something was bolted right here, and that's where my distribution block was. I did do the clamp with the air pressure and it sucked itself back in. Very rusty, and the sucking side is hooked up. I know that's not what you call it, but the push out side right here needs to have the lines finished off. And you see this one is for the air blaster. Same with that one. If I want to have the air blaster hooked up, I don't even know if these are different ports up here. I need to get more number 10, and I have 8 of every size but 10. So this is what you would call a 5-way valve. This goes to moving the shovel in, moving the shovel out, and then these are just like dump ports on the side. This one and this one are dump ports. So this is where your air comes in. So let's see, I could have it backwards, but it's the same idea. When I move it this way, it pumps air from in out to here, and at that same time it opens up the channel from here to the dump port to relieve the pressure on this side, because we're putting pressure in this side. And then when you're in the middle position, it closes everything off. So it holds a little bit of air. Right now it's set up, it's pushing too much air in. So then when I push this back this way, it opens the air from here over into the shovel out position and opens the air that's built up on the inside and just dumps it straight out into the atmosphere. I have most of the lines traced now, what everything goes to, but now I think that moves a little too fast, because I mean the main lines right here are like, I think 3/8 of an inch that come into here, but for some reason they had them hooked up to these little teeny like 1/8 inch lines. See them? And I think they did that for speed, just to slow it down and maybe a little easier routing the wires, or the hoses in and out of there. This took quite a bit of effort to free up all the rust on here, but we have this moving in and out now. And we can hook the air up to that too. There's a little, it's kind of cool. All it does is there's a little air cylinder here and there, and they're linked. When you push that button, this just jumps up and it just wedges that, so this can't move up and down. And then there's one back here as well. This plate wedges out, and so that this bar doesn't move in and out. This is the plug that it has on here. It's a like a 20 amp 240 volt twist lock, which would be more, usually you see this more in commercial stuff. I'm going to cut it off. I'm just going to put, it's going to have a dryer plug for the rest of its life, but we may want this plug for something else in the future, so I'm going to give it just a little bit of playroom, and then we'll just strip this back. Alright, let's take a cord reel and plug it in. So I plugged it in and it doesn't work. And I went through this entire Christmas vacation type scenario. I actually just left, went and got myself lunch, came back, and I remembered that Sparky had forgotten to remove the cord for the vehicle lift and plug in the cord for the extension, the retractable reel. Okay, moment of truth with both ends plugged in. Let's see. And it works. I was so mad. So, and then all the way down should be high speed. It works. We got some lines and stuff in the way, but you guys get the idea. So this is the banjo bolt we need to make so the air fitting will fit so we can use the clamp on the table. Pretty basic. Of course, it's an oddball thread. It's a M10 by 1 pitch, which is like an extra fine metric. And I've went through at least my 7,000 metric bolts, and I don't have a single one this size because it's fine. And I've also went through my taps and dies, and I don't have a die for that. But what is super close to this is this bolt right here. I don't know if you can see the play. There's virtually no play. This is a 3/8 by 24, so, which is weird. So this is just a little bit smaller. So the 3/8 by 24 fits in here, but the metric one right here won't fit into the SAE. I think that'll be just fine. We're gonna run with that because I don't even think my local store has these. My local nut and bolt place that I usually go for everything. They might. The threads are in the exact place I need and everything. I just have to drill a cross hole and an end hole. Close enough. Look at it, it's metric. 14 even fits on it. Barely. Woo! So something we have to address, it is snapped off and it's being held on by one screw. But so you can't just replace this because this has a valve and everything in it. And your instinct, I mean, it's designed, that's what you hold on to move it in and out. So it's going to get broken even further. So I need to plastic weld all this back together. I'll skip over plastic welding because I have a whole video on it. But there we go. It's reinforced with steel, wire, and mesh. And there's no movement in the, there's a little bit of movement. Maybe because the plastic is still warm, but that whole piece has been replaced with gray plastic. Maybe you just have it reinforced everywhere. You can see some of the wire that I got in there, but that's it. We have the shovel controller all tubed up, plumbed, I guess. Some original lines, some new lines. Now I just have to plumb it up into here. These little teeny lines need to go to these huge lines. Yeah, weird, huh? I need to go from the 1/8 inch line to the 3/8 line. So I didn't have any unions, no reducers. So I took the 1/8 inch and I cut it in half. And there was a little bit of a shoulder. There's the other half of it. And then I just kind of jammed the larger line over it. And then I took my wire binding tool, clamped it on, and then I can just connect this to the bigger line over there. So you got these little teeny 1/8 inch lines that come from the handle over there, and then these bigger lines go to the big tank under there that moves the shovel. Right there, you can see it connected in up there. I don't know why they reduced it down like that, but they did through a valve block, so we'll just do the exact same. I'm running into an issue. This is dirt slow. I knew the smaller lines would slow it down, but that's ridiculous. So what I'm thinking is this valve system right here This must have just operated, like worked as a relay and operated a bigger valve down there to dump all the air into the shovel. And that is why I have these little teeny lines going to this big line. I mean, they kind of did, but there had to be some sort of like relay block that dumped these like larger amounts of air into there. So I can't have it moving that. So I have to run these larger lines from here up to my block right there, which one of the reasons they didn't do that is because there's very little room in this arm and around there. So I might just have to run them on the outside of the arm. There just happens to be a nice large hole in the back. I'm gonna pull all this extra line out. And then we can just hook this to our valve block. We have the large lines ran up to here. I put some exhaust tubing and ran that on the inside. It makes it way quieter. But now I have all these extra lines. So I buy this stuff directly from China. It's like Chinese finger trap. It's for wire looms. So it expands out pretty big. And that'll corral that and create some sort of UV barrier and just abrasion resistance. And instead of putting like a electrical tape or a tie or a zip tie every couple inches. I was trying to sneak up on you. Okay, I'm 99.2% sure I'm doing this wrong. This is the first time I've ever done it. We did restore. I fixed up and restored the little valve core remover tool that I found in there. So, oh, that's powerful. Guess we move the tower out of the way. So this particular rim, it looks like, has to grab on the inside versus pushing out, which is, I don't know. And do I just... Nope. I'm going to chop my finger off. Nope. Got it. Doesn't seem to be slow at doing that though. Okay, it's a bead lube. I have professional bead lube, but we'll just use soapy water that I was checking leaks with. Okay, bring our tower back over, but I have it locked. Need to unlock. This needs to pop up. There it goes. Bring that down. I don't think that's the way you do it, but That is the most effortless thing I've ever done with tires. Holy crap. $19.99. Bring your tires over. Let's change them. So I'm pulling that entire thing off. That thing right there is heavy. That's heavy, but it's funny. The cylinder right here, this aluminum cylinder, is just weighs like nothing. Look at the little teeny rod. Wonder how much that can actually lift. I guess I could do the math, but it's kind of cool. Now I just have to unbolt all of that. I don't need any of that. I'm missing a bunch of pieces. I'm missing valves. I'm missing so much off that I don't think that's been used. That hasn't been used while this has been used for a long time. There we go. Have the whole thing off. That really narrows it up. To be able to get it, I need to make it go through a doorway. So I think I have to take off the shovel as well. I wanted to show you guys how much wear is in that. The pin has about a 1/4 inch of wear, and the hole has about a 1/4 inch of wear. So it looks like that pin, it looks like, well, back here this hinge pin is just held in with these 2 bolts, and this hinge pin comes out, and that should just come off. It looks like there's just a nut right there that holds that main pin right here to this shaft. So if I just remove that bolt, remove those 2 little bolts, and pull out that pin right there, I should just be able to take the shovel off, and I have all this routed on top now, and just set it over, and I should be like 34 inches, 33 inches. I do have to make, I think, a side cover for all that. So these screw holes right here help stabilize that. So I need a front cover plate that, are these bolt holes? No. So there's just 4 bolt holes, but then I need to make them integrate into that. Look at that wear. I'm going to weld that up and return it in the lathe real fast. Shows you how much use that has received. Doesn't need to be perfect because we're just grinding it off. Good enough. Doesn't matter if there's little pits in it. Way better than it was. So I made a sheet metal and angle iron cover that just screws down through the original mounting holes. So covers up the hoses. Anyway, we got that pin all welded up last night. But this pin right here, so now I can take this out. It came right out, no problems at all. It's a little worn, but I think I'm going to leave that. So, but now you can take this entire thing off, the whole arm, and just tuck this out of the way. And I have the size requirement that I needed to get through the doorway. I just barely made a cover for the front. Some of you guys might recognize this puke green color. This is from that electric stove I turned into a shop heater, but put that on. I guess we'll spray paint it black or something, and then just bolt it, and that'll help support these pedals from just wiggling. Slowly but surely. Show you guys out here in the light where it's not covered up by a trailer. It's a functional working tire machine, so really have nothing else to do with it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna hook that up because I think I'm missing some sort of large dump valve that makes that operate. I could just work that into just like a hand lever or something, but I really don't think it's that necessary. But again, if I didn't mention, I want to thank the guy that watches my videos and messaged me and offered me this up. He lives pretty close to me. He said, hey, you want a tire machine? His name's David. Thanks, David. I'm like, heck yeah. So he has one. He bought 2, and I guess he decided that maybe I wanted to play with one. So nice guy. There we go. I cut a bunch of decals out for the for what everything functions and stuff like that, just to make it look more finished. Cleaned it up a little bit. I have like a 20-year-old Cricut machine, just a cheapo Cricut machine that I spent way too much time on the computer learning how to make it cut stuff that's it's not supposed to cut. But got those original, like the design off of the original unit, and just kind of made my own decals. It's just like cheap vinyl. Anyway, cleaned it up a little bit, painted the main tire deck with just some black spray paint I had laying around. It's going to scratch, but it's better than just rusting, because it was just all rusted up, because this is going to live outdoors. I took this unit right here, was hanging over there, moved it inboard, just cleaned stuff up, tried painting, greasing, everything. I did paint this because this was kind of rusted, but then it was so tight it wouldn't slide in and out, so had to strip the paint back off, just some acetone, and then it just has some dry moly lube on it. So everything should be good. It's all functional, and as soon as I just take that arm off, it should be about 34 inches wide. With the pallet, kind of has to go through it at an angle. See, it's not sitting on the pallet square, but I should be able to fit it back through into my backyard, through my garage door. But I don't know, it's a tight squeeze. Maybe. I'll let you know if I get it back there. It fit, barely. Old tire changer, new tire changer. Oh, you're a good sport. Should I plug in the cord and I can just rotate you around as a little tire model? Maybe? Hey, you can go. Let's go play.